Hey guys, MCU Collector here with another figure review, and next up is the Hasbro Marvel Legends series X-Men House of X Marvel's Tri-Sentinel Build-A-Figure. Here we have MOIRA MACTAGGERT. Now I'm looking at the name here in the Krakoan language, and that's just got to be Moira, right? All the other ones it'll say like Omega Sentinel, so this one must just say Moira. I know that you can find the actual key in translation online, but I gotta assume that's just Moira, right? Here we get MOIRA MACTAGGERT. Side artwork looking very interesting. It is the version with that particular head sculpt, without the lab coat, with those arms on there. Then looking at the back of the package, we actually get that particular look, and then we have kind of the scientist look to her with the lab coat. Here, the bio reads, "Through the course of many lives and deaths, MOIRA MACTAGGERT pursues justice for all mutants." Here we have the Tri-Sentinel Build-A-Figure, the Theta Sentinel, all 7 figures in the wave to build, all 7 figures in the wave, but 6 to build the Theta Sentinel. We are on the 4th one with the Build-A-Figure part, Moira. Next up will be Magneto and onto Cyclops before getting to the Omega Sentinel Build-A-Figure. X-Men logo there at the top. So without further ado, we'll open her up. This is going to be one of the more anticipated figures of the wave, because there's some cool things that we can actually do with it. You have 2 different looks for the figure, which is a nice touch by Hasbro. So let's open it up. Okay, so here is the MOIRA MACTAGGERT figure out of the package, and I think the real appeal to this is, you know, the customization, the customizability with what you can do and how you're going to display her, assuming that you're only going to get one and not display her in 2 different forms. That is what is really cool about this figure. But there's something, and people were commenting this on Instagram, and I didn't know what they were really meant until I finally opened the figure and looked at it. I'm like, what the hell? So we'll get to that as we kind of zoom in for a closer look at MOIRA MACTAGGERT. She comes with here the left leg to the Theta Sentinel Build-A-Figure. I'm going to stick that off to the side with all the other pieces, and we'll take a look at that in its own video towards the end. Let's zoom in and take a look at the accessories that she comes with. So here we have this science book, which just kind of has this atom. Is that an atom? I could be wrong. It's been a while since I've been in school. I'm kind of stupid now, having graduated high school 18 years ago now. Long ass time ago, but there it is. It's just gray plastic with that atom. There's actually an X-Men logo right in the middle, right in the front there. Look at that. I can't unsee that now. That's cool. We get this little scarf piece here that ties around and goes around her neck. So that is a nice little touch. We get this interchangeable head sculpt here, and this one looks really good. And this one, ooh, it's kind of got a weird thing going on here too. So looking at this head sculpt, so the thing that people were commenting that I didn't realize, so looking at the face, I think it's painted really, really well. The eyes, the eyeliner, the eyebrows, the lipstick, all looks really good. However, the lipstick does not fully match the shape of her lips that's molded or sculpted in there. So you see that almost like a little dimple piece, but that's her bottom lip. And it just doesn't quite line up with the smile that the lipstick is giving her. So you can see that on this one. But it's really noticeable on the other one. So her hat here, that's actually a soft rubber material for the bill there, but the hat is not going to be removable or anything. That is part of the head sculpt that's going to be glued onto the hair. We get these gold earrings there. The inside is not painted, it's just the skin tone color, but that's not a big deal because once the head is on the body, you're not going to see that anyway. Moving on to the other accessories, we get interchangeable arms to go with it, so they're just going to pop out at the shoulder. Hopefully it'll be easy enough to do, and we'll be able to do that. But looking at MOIRA MACTAGGERT, this head sculpt I think looks awesome. The glasses look great. You can actually see through them. They are clear translucent plastic. So further going on to what Hasbro can do with glasses, and not the mistake that the Peter Parker retro figure was. I know what they were going for, but again, still doesn't really translate well into figure form. But you can see the eyes are painted really well. But looking at the lipstick looks good, but again, doesn't match the smile. So the lipstick makes it look like she's actually smiling, but look at the lips, the way they're sculpted. It's like she's just kind of frowning a little bit, so it just looks weird that it's like that, and you can't unsee it. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. So in the package, far away, without taking a close look, I think it looked great. one of the best looking female faces that Hasbro has done. But then that, and it's just like, wow, it's like, why? So it's just kind of weird. I mean, it's a little thing, but I'm telling you, once you have it in hand, it's just, you cannot unsee it. It just kind of sucks. But anyway, looking at it, glasses look good, pretty good. The hair, just a brown color on there. We actually get this little couple of pins in there, 2 blue, 1 black. So that is pretty cool on the lab coat. This is a new coat. This is not like the same that comes with the Gwen Stacy figure, because this is basically the Gwen Stacy figure, but the coat is different. So there we have it, going on into the legs and onto her shoes. And when I was talking about Marvel Girl on the way her shoes were, you could see these are the same feet. So you could see how the shoe is supposed to look with the, with the skin tone of the foot showing. And they just painted over and called it a boot, basically. So that's what's going on there. But you can see that the paint, the plastic is actually the red color, and they painted on the skin tone. So that's why the skin tones don't match. Not that big of a deal, but it is what it is. The legs seem kind of weird. So you see the hinge, it's almost off kind of to the side. So it just looks a little funny when trying to kind of get her to stand. Just seems a little weird, almost like it's tilted, and just kind of one of those things. But anyway, the figure does look really good. So let's zoom out, and then let's check out some of the customizing options that we have with her. Okay, so here is the standard look. Let's pop off these arms and do the other look. We'll see how easy it is to pop these arms off, and a little bit of force, but comes off. So it's not too bad. You don't have to heat it up or anything like that. But I mean, well, as I say that and then have a hard time pulling this one out. Okay, got it. So then with that, you can just take the coat off. Simple, like so. Here, we're going to get her other arms, the sweater arms. So that's the left. We're just going to pop that in. The other one. And we're just going to pop that one in, except it didn't pop in. It's actually a little bit tougher than I thought it would be. Usually with female figures, when we get interchangeable arm type things, it's usually at the elbow and you just pull it and it becomes a little bit easier. But wow, with MOIRA MacTaggert's right at the shoulder, so it's a little bit tough. So you can even do this look for her, but the alternate intended look is to use the scarf, put that on there, and then the head sculpt with the head to give us our other Moira look. And there we have it. So you got to kind of turn the arms to make sure it makes sense. But there is our alternate look for Moira MacTaggert. That is really cool. So now let's get into the articulation. Okay, so for the articulation bit, I'm actually not going to do the lab coat version, but it should basically be the same exact articulation. But anyway, she can look down that much. She's going to be able to look kind of tilted up, not a whole lot, because the hair, we know with longer hair, it always gets in the way. You can do the full rotation in there, not really a whole lot of pivot going on. Shoulder, you can get to go up that high, full rotation, of course. Single jointed elbow, because that's all Hasbro ever does with female figures. So single jointed elbow, bend at the elbow gives you 90 degrees solid, like so. Wrists swivel, and they do hinge. So on these ones, and you could always switch the hands also, but the lab coat, we got fists. The right is a holding hand, so she can actually hold the book, and then the left, excuse me, and then the right is that open hand that basically comes with every single female figure ever. And you can see she can hold the book nicely, like so. We have a diaphragm joint, so she can tilt to her left that much, not a whole lot. Tilt to her right that much, not a whole lot. Going back, hardly anything at all. Coming forward, very, very little. But you do get this swivel at that diaphragm joint. Legs go out that far apart because the skirt piece, they put the slit on her right side, so you can at least move the legs somewhat, kind of how Marvel Girl is, but it is a different skirt piece because this one has that molded on belt, but you can see the slit. This slit is actually a lot bigger, so you can actually get more movement in that right leg, but you're still not going to really be able to kick forward. I mean, I guess you could this one if you kind of move it outside of the skirt like that, so it doesn't really work too well. You do have an upper thigh cut in there, upper thigh swivel in there. You have a double jointed knee like so. No calf swivel. Foot hinges all the way down though. hinges up quite a bit, which is good. Ankle pivot and peg holes at the bottom of the feet, right at the toes. So typical Hasbro Marvel Legends female figure. Very, 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 very limited in articulation, but the figure looks good and you have a couple of different options, so that is cool. One other thing with the lab coat elbows, you can see you would actually get at least more than a little bit more than 90-degree bend at those elbows. Okay, so I switched back to the lab coat version to finish off the video. You can change the hand, so I put the open hand in that left arm. But if you notice between the two different hands, looking at the size difference, it's like crazy. You know, why the female fists are always have been kind of so small, and I never really noticed it until probably the Shuri figure. But yeah, they're just, some of them are tiny on those fists. Those open hands are a lot bigger. You know, when you look at it, it's just kind of crazy, the size difference in the hands. So I'm not really sure what's going on there. But so if you wanted to do the lab coat look for her and get her to hold the book, boom, you got it. Okay, and for a quick little side-by-side here, we have Professor X Charles Xavier next to Moira MacTaggert, as they have been love interests in the past. It's something that they kind of did in the movies, but kind of not. They undid it, and just kind of some weird stuff between the movies, but there they are next to each other. Okay, so here, so far is the House of X Tri-Sentinel Build-A-Figure wave that I have now reviewed so far, and you can see Moira MacTaggert is about the same size of the Jean Grey Marvel Girl. She's a little bit shorter because Jean Grey's hair kind of sticks up a little bit higher, and then the part of her mask kind of sticks up, but they have kind of the same base body, so the same legs, same feet. And then, well, the torso pieces are different because they use, you know, completely different parts. But the legs, I guess, maybe that's all that's the same. You know, one hand is the same. But the wave is really starting to look good. Again, the House of X storyline, very interesting. If you don't know, Moira MacTaggert is revealed to be a mutant and lives her life over and over again. And I believe she's on her 10th life, and it kind of goes over some of those things. She also retains her memory from all past lives. So pretty interesting stuff on the House of X. So you guys let me know what you think of that storyline, what you think of this Moira MacTaggert figure. Can you unsee the weird lip thing on the mold with the lipstick, or what? It's just weird. It's almost got like Joker lips kind of thing. It's kind of how it reminds me. So there we go. So I'm not going to zoom in for my final thoughts. It's an interesting figure. The customizing ability and options on it are actually really cool. You know, we don't get a whole lot of those things with these figures other than, you know, an interchangeable head type of thing. But it almost, you know, kind of creates two different versions of the Moira MacTaggert, but in two completely different looks. So I'm all for it. That is awesome. I wish more figures would do it. Hopefully Hasbro will see that. I think fans are going to like that, and hopefully they'll kind of implement that with other figures, you know, but we shall see. It may not work with others with Moira MacTaggert. The practicality of it was there, and they can pack it in and fit it all in there. So lots of accessories for this wave, which is always a plus. But you guys let me know all your thoughts down in the comments below. If you guys like this video, please do me a favor and hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you haven't already done so. And as always, thank you for watching.